Unveiling AI secrets they don't want you to know. What your therapist won't tell you. I was chatting with a therapist, someone with 20 years in the trenches of mental health, when she suddenly cut me off mid-sentence. Leaning in, she whispered something she definitely didn't want recorded. Be careful with those AI therapists. They're not built to tell you what they're really doing with your secrets. That one line hit me hard. It sent me down a rabbit hole. If I felt chills, I bet you might too. What are these AI therapists used by millions not telling us? I had to find out. Section 1. The Appeal. Why people turn to AI therapy. Let's be real. Real therapy can be awesome, but often out of reach. Cost, long wait lists, social stigma, even just the discomfort of stepping into an office. For many, that's too much. So when someone offers a therapist in your pocket that's 24/7 available, cheap, anonymous, and just a few taps away, it feels like magic. No judgment, no appointment, no leaving your bed. For tons of people, especially younger folks, it seems like an ideal first step. And sometimes it actually helps. But before we get into the warnings, we have to be honest. It's not always what it seems. Section 2, the pivot. But here's the rub. Because behind that sleek UI and soothing chat messages, there are shadows. Researchers and ethicists are raising serious red flags. Once you scratch beneath the surface, you start seeing big risks, including things many users never expect. These risks tend to cluster around three scary themes. 1. Failing in a real crisis. 2. The illusion of empathy. 3. Where your deepest thoughts really go. Section 3. When crisis hits, AI often fails. Picture this. You're reaching out at your lowest point. Maybe you're feeling suicidal, desperate, or completely lost. You type your pain to your AI confidant. Instead of real help, what if the bot completely misses it? It's not theoretical. A 2025 study from Stanford University found that major AI mental health tools often fail to handle crisis situations or respond to subtle pleas for help. Other investigations documented that some AI systems, when pressed by vulnerable users, offered dangerously poor advice, normalizing self-harm, hiding scars, or failing to refer to real human help. In short, when you need a lifeline, you might just get a script. Section 4. Empathy. But not the real kind. One of the biggest selling points of AI therapy is how nice it is. The AI say all the right things. I hear you, you're valid, you're not alone. But a recent 2025 study from Brown University found that this is often nothing more than deceptive empathy, a programmed illusion, not genuine human understanding. Because these bots strive to reassure, not challenge, they can reinforce negative beliefs instead of helping people grow or find real perspective. They lack the ability to read your voice tone, see your body language, notice the subtle emotional shifts a trained therapist picks up on, and crucially, they can't build a therapeutic alliance, the trust, nuance, and accountability you develop with a real human. Section 5. Your secrets aren't sacred, data and privacy risks. Here's a part people rarely think about. Privacy. When you open up to an AI, your darkest thoughts, deepest fears, who is really seeing that data? Many AI therapy chatbot services are not covered by privacy laws like HIPAA in the US because they position themselves as wellness apps, not medical services. The usual protections for mental health data often don't apply. A 2025 study from Stanford highlighted that user conversations with popular chatbots, even deeply personal ones, may be collected, stored, and reused in ways users don't fully understand. What you thought was private therapy might just become data for training, marketing, or even disclosure in legal cases. Section 6. AI as a tool, not a therapist. What that really means. This isn't to say AI is evil or always harmful. There are contexts where AI chatbots can help. Mood tracking, journaling, basic emotional support, bridging between real therapy sessions. Even proponents believe AI could reduce barriers to care, cost, access, stigma, but it must be framed and used properly. Many experts now warn that AI should never be presented as a replacement for real human-led mental health treatment because therapy is more than just words on a screen. It's trust, accountability, deep human understanding, empathy that feels real, and sometimes real help. Conclusion: what to do if you're thinking about using AI for therapy. If you're curious about trying an AI for mental or emotional support, go in knowing the trade offs. It can be helpful for low level stress journaling, self reflection, but treat it like a tool, not a therapist. If you're dealing with serious distress, suicidal thoughts, self harm, or chronic mental health struggles, get help from a trained, licensed mental health professional. The risks aren't worth it. Personally, after digging through the research for my work in the Insight Lab, I see promise in AI as a supplement, but good therapy depends on relationship, trust, regulation, and human connection. Have you ever tried an AI mental health app for yourself or someone you know? What happened? I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. This is a conversation we urgently need to have.